Nigga, we ain't gotta be nice. Nigga, we ain't gotta sell drugs. Nigga, we really rock right, nigga. Nigga, we truly godlike, nigga. Nigga, we been building space stations. Nigga, we are the United Nations. Nigga, the globe is too small, nigga. Niggas will always run y'all, nigga. Nigga, we are worth support, nigga. Nigga, we really are important, nigga. Peace, black people, we are important, we are worth support. You locked into the Elevation Sessions, powered by my book, 200 Years from Niggas to God, the guide to becoming a mature nation. This session is rooted in chapter 1, the construction of self. And this is a chapter about the foundation. Before we build anything, we got to build ourselves through intention, reflection, and ownership. Today, I got my brother Daniel on here, who's someone who I've known for over a decade. And what I've always appreciated about him is he thinks differently. He doesn't just follow the systems. He questions them all. From when he was in the Coast Guard to when he's doing his government work. Wherever he's at, he's always carved his own lane. And that's what this session is all about. Construction of self that's real, that's aware, and that's grounded in something deeper than survival. So Daniel, how you doing today, man? It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Brother, I haven't seen your face. I haven't seen your face live and moving in this manner in more than 10 years. I followed you on Instagram. We were on the call and we missed each other when you came here to Atlanta. But brother,
Yes,
brother, what you are doing is something amazing. God bless you, brother. May his hand of protection be on you always, because what you're doing in the stars in the universe, we will appreciate it 200 years from now. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And that's what this is about. This segment, if we're going to get into it, is part 1, which is radical ownership. There's a quote I got in the book that says the first step to transformation is radical ownership. When did you realize that no one was coming to save you and it was all on you?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that. Sometime when I was in the military, you know, and I really appreciate it in reference to the first chapter. You know, we're talking about really taking ownership of the mind, right? Reclaiming that ownership of the mind and everything we're going to do over that first segment. But for me, I feel like it was in the military because that's just like a motif one of my leaders had said, you know, where they say, no one's coming to save you. I heard it maybe through a motivational speech or some sort of leadership and management development. And it's again, and I realized, hey, I've been in a war zone. And at the end of the day, when you're out there, when you're outside of the fob, when you're off course, sometimes you can get in a situation where you can't get air support, right? And in a series of times, no one is going to come to save you, right? Because sometimes the air support may come, but they may say, hey, you have to hold your ground for X amount of minutes, right? We got some rear support, we got some Rangers, we got some Delta coming in for you, but there's going to be X amount of times in which it's equivalent of no one's coming to save you. So I can definitely support that.
Right. It's on you. It's on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, was there ever a moment where you had to take on the whole responsibility? You had to take accountability for everything, even though maybe it wasn't your fault, even though, you know, taking on that, again, that radical ownership, even though it might not have been your fault.
Hey, brother, like that's the best. That's how I've achieved success, right? So I try to understand my cause and effect in any situation, in a system, an outcome with other people thinking. If I'm ever in a situation where I'm the accused party, I'm going to go ahead and take ownership quickly. And I just learned, like, understanding how society works, even if it's circumstantial. I'm just going to make sure I hold myself accountable and say what I could have did better and what I learned from the scenario through the accusations. So at the end of the day, like, just being able to say, hey, I'm accountable in my mind for various different things that could play out, it always helps me. It just helps me to move smarter. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, there's been many moments, if I can understand, you know, you say you had to take full responsibility, even though it wasn't your fault. That's what I was trying to get to. Like, it was something that you had to say, okay, you know what? I know he did that, but I'm going to go ahead and take ownership of that. And maybe
I don't know. Did you talk to him afterwards to set him right, or what was your take on that?
Well, for example, in this case, that's on my mind, my son, I'm a father, right? So
Okay.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We don't need to point the fingers about this, that, and the other. You know, you've met my wife. You asked about my former wife. You asked about her, the baby mama, right? The mother of my
Yes.
children, right?
Yes.
You asked
Yes.
about,
Yes. Yes.
but at the end of the day, when I parent my son, I have to take full ownership. I have to take ownership for the absences, whether they were legal, segmented, and delegated by law or whatever. I have to
Yes,
take
sir.
full ownership. And from that place, I lead by example. I develop the relationship that we have now, right?
So I mean, okay, that kind of leads me into the next part. Now you're constructing your identity, is what we're getting into. Yeah, because I was going to ask you, has your idea of manhood, fatherhood, or success changed over the years?
Almost definitely, right? So we're now at that place where I feel like I'm a responsible parent and I'm a responsible man, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's because I'm at that place where, as you talked about in chapter one, I have that confidence, and that confidence has been developed for
Right.
years. And a lot of times, what you get from our brothers and sisters and from the former version of myself was I lacked confidence. So then, therefore, I had to hold on into this public persona. So I didn't want to admit, or I didn't want my name associated with guilt, or I didn't act in my best self, or I didn't communicate and resolve something with my baby mama in a certain manner, which I should take responsibility and I should take ownership on, because at that period in time, right, going back to 2013, I didn't have enough confidence in my identity as a human being that I have value, I don't intend harm, and I want to build my nation, right? So being
Right.
confident in that, I can say, okay, I understand your accusations, I understand your worldview. I could even affirm that to a certain extent if I was in your shoes, and then I can move
Mm-hmm.
forward in a more diplomatic sense. So 100%, I've been there, and I definitely just want to key into something that you talked about, right? You talked about, good brother, and you talked about confidence and the lack of confidence. If
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have confidence in who I am, I'm always defending who people accuse me to be. Because at the end of the day, once I'm
Correct.
confident in myself, I can rest in that, and I can be judicious as I listen to what other people think, and I could try to resolve differences. So going back to my son with the baby mama drama that I was involved in 10 years, I take full accountability, because now it's about letting my son know how to be the version of me that I am now, not the version of me that I have been in the past.
Right. 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 Because I mean that go back to my one of my quotes, which is like, you have to dig inside deep and have to have the willingness to question your own beliefs, your own desires, and your own foundations. And so that's what I was going to get into was, what was some of the belief systems that you had to even question to become who you are today? What are some of the belief systems that you had in yourself that you had to even question to become who you are today?
Okay,
That great man.
I'm gonna go to my notes real quick, because you just
Yes,
took.
sir.
Okay, right here, you said this. You said ruthless, self-honest, right?
Yes.
Yep. And then you talked about brick by brick.
What belief systems did you have to question to become who you are today?
Okay. I had to question what it means to be a nigga.
Uh,
I had to question that, right? I had,
right,
I had to question that.
right. Were you acting as such? What made you have to ask that question?
Well, I I don't really know what led it to be, but this is a belief that I had to realize, right? That outside of my community, a nigga may mean something negative. Even though in my side of community, right, with Cuban Gooding, not Cuban Gooding, but Ice Cube, right? He was saying
Yeah.
we're taking that word back, we're embracing it, right? So that could lead to also we put on bow tie suits, we niggas with suits and this and that and other, right? But at the end of the day, right, when we go
Right.
to the marketplace and we deal with people of other nations and other communities, people are looking a little, perturbed and questioning. So at the end of the day, really it got to the point where I had to to start questioning myself in reference to how other people think of me. Like I am the type of person, I'm very self-confident, brother Muhammad. I'm very self-confident.
I believe I know.
And what people think about me is not going to hurt me emotionally. But what I realize is a lot of the projects I'm in when I'm doing community organizing, legislative work, a lot of projects I have stakeholders. So I need to understand not just what they think, I also need to understand what they feel, right? So questioning what it means to listen to songs that says nigga this, nigga that, right? What it means for me to put on that identifier that I'm a nigga while I'm going to sit down in Oakland or going to have a conversation, or in Oakland, I'm shaking the hand of Congresswoman Barbara Lee, right? I have a suit on, but at the end of the day, I'm not really questioning a nigga at this time, right? While I'm still working with organizations where we're trying to move into some of the, we weren't as far as long as you, brother. We can't try to make it seem like we were. Where you're taking us with from niggas to God, that's something new. We weren't there, but we still were doing something positive, but I still had to critique that, right? I had to start critiquing. Why am I, nothing against Little Baby, right? But I'm listening to this Little Baby style rhetoric, right? I'm listening to this sort of music that puts these conscious things, right? Chapter 1 is about getting into our mind. So I had to just start questioning what everything associated with nigga meant to me and how it allowed me to show up, not just for myself, in my definition of myself, but in my community.
Look at yourself right now. Who are you? More importantly, who do you want to be? Every day you make choices. Every day you move. But are you really living or just existing? You were never meant to be stuck. You were never meant to just survive. You were built to build, to lead, to master. Enough. The difference between staying the same and leveling up is one decision. One moment when you say, no more. I refuse to stay here. 200 years from niggas to gods. The transformation starts now.
So we didn't get to finish that last part, which was, what was one decision that you made that completely shifted the direction of your life? 10 years ago, present, but just one decision. I mean, I know we on a life's journey, and sometimes, you know, we can pivot this way, didn't have to pivot that way. But what was something that, you know, what was one decision that you went through that shifted, you know, the way you thought about things today?
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you. First of all, I just want to say it's an honor and privilege to be here with you again. And, you know, when you ask a question like that, I have to take a sincere tone, right? I love to joke, I love to play, but what we're talking about in this transformation that you're leading here, and why I'm so excited for this opportunity to interview, is because my reflections and my point of views on this is very poignant. And I really appreciate you bringing me on today so you can help elevate my voice to your very distinguished, prestigious investors and backers, because I see what you're doing from California to Atlanta to even things, I don't know if it's clear for me to say it, so I'm gonna try to speak in a little bit of code, but with the depot, right? And I understand everything that you, when you met me through our work with the Department of Homeland Security in partnership with the US Coast Guard, right? When we would be there in front of our space doing what we needed to do and doing the meetings that we used to have different joint operations. Sometimes, you know, it might be a naval guy coming in, or Army guy, or a Marine guy, right? So in short, when we talk about certain things, because in this clip up generation, you have to make sure the content can be used as appropriately so all stakeholders win. So some things it's okay for me to laugh and joke about, but some things I have to get very serious. And when you asked me,
Yes,
after I tried to get out of it, the first cut, you remember when I came on, and difficulties happened, but I'm back with you because I'm committed to everything that you and your people are building. When I see a man like you who are in Atlanta doing what you need to do, also, I'm not going to give out your marketing IP, but you are doing things where investors, I know as a fact that you've offered to an investor, hey, let me give you a little bit of this. And they said, no, I want to pay for it.
yes, sir.
That's the sort of quality you have. So the life-changing thing, the most important trajectory changing was being confident in who I am, to think that I could be selected and chosen via a competitive process, right? I joined all sort of groups, special operations. I'm not here to talk about all that stuff, but one of the most competitive processes that I put my name down for was to be a master mason out of Live Oak 61 in Oakland, right?
Okay.
That lodge is what it is. I'm not going to speak any coded language on that, but that is the second richest lodge, if not the first, when we existed. We have now doing other things. I can't give you all of the craft yet, baby. And
yes, sir.
when
Yes,
you
sir.
join up, then we'll get you more. But the point of what I'm saying is, you're talking about riches, first or second, by the books. I go in my system, I connect any of my brothers. So regardless of what I did with the Maritime Force Protection Unit, Kings Bay and nuclear submarine, where I'm developing and doing different things, or where I came to you, when I came and I met you, I was doing more developing a certain protocols for Department of Homeland Security and United States Coast Guard. When I was doing my work with the Maritime Force Protection Unit, and you'll see where I'm going. The things that we develop, classified, we can't talk about those protocols, we can't talk about those, but all of these, I had to compete to get there to the Maritime Force Protection Unit. I had to compete. They don't let just anybody's, when you talk about your title, we're not going to go into that deep at this point in time, because this is some of the content that if you don't clip it up, I'm gonna give it to my government affiliates, because what you're doing for people in your community, we have to make sure you're in the pipeline when we get people in your community and in my community recruited to these different things. But for me, just going right into it, the biggest decision I've ever made in my life was to join the Masons. And because of the things that you talk about in your book, right? Because just because I had it 10 years ago, that doesn't mean everybody had it. I'm just here to say, you're on to something. You got it. Because I can look at your book and I can see that the blueprint you said is my life.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, I'm not here to talk about finances, but we are now in a place where we invest and we monitor investments, and investments pay bills. That's a different place. So for me to come on here, for me to appreciate your platform, to me to honor and justify and co-sign what you're doing with your investors, I do not take it as a joke, nor do my brothers take it as a joke. Because when I talk to my son, and my son just called me, he said, hey, I'm going out to the mall. Is that okay? He asked permission. 16 asked permission. Yes. Hey, be respectful. Yes, as always. But then I have to say, remember, you represent my family plan. It's my family plan, period. And he represents that and he understands that, right? But where do I get that sort of thinking from? Master Masonry. So with a lot of the things, I can't tell you everything, but a lot of the things you stumbled upon are things that I have learned through Master Masonry. So the most life-changing moment was becoming a Mason and bringing me into what I will call capital G, capital O, capital D thinking.
Yes.
Right? And then we're in as brothers. So then therefore there's capital G, capital O, capital D, and you know how you add plural in whatever language the brothers are in. Sometimes we're not going to go into all that stuff. But the point of what I'm saying is, for me to basically find through Masonry what you were able to put out at an affordable cost to your community, which is broad, because we're not going to go into that. You have one of the most brother. You got this brother. If y'all don't know, this brother have one of the most diverse communities across the globe. You compete with Masons. We number one, but you right there with us. But brother, yeah, joining the Masons was the best thing I've ever done. So that's the short and swift.
Yes, sir. And I mean, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, hey, whatever puts you on the right path to become the God that you're supposed to be, I support it 1,000%. I have always supported whatever you've done 1,000%. Whatever you need, have me show up because I'm with it. So since you know you've been with the Masons now for a while, and that's the trajectory of your life, and you're going to tell me, my next question is, what part did you have to rewrite? But what were some of the things that you had to rewrite about the blueprint of Daniel? You know what I mean? Some of that upbringing that then had to rewrite so that this construction of who you are today shines as bright as you are today, brother. How did you get there? What was something you had to rewrite?
One thing, I had to be able to distinguish the difference between capital G, capital O, capital D.
Yes, sir.
And capital G, capital O, D.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, knowing the difference between those two, that capital G, capital O, capital D, yeah, and that capital G, capital O, capital D.
Yeah, and this is the reason why.
Break that down a little bit. Break that down a little bit.
This is the reason why. You have to realize, right? Architecture is key to the building of nations. Right?
Correct.
So, have you ever been inside like an architecture center?
I mean, you mean a well-crafted building, a well-designed building?
A construction, like going in how. This is what I'm saying. You have, right? So you've seen a good building, but what I'm going to tell you and your audience about is when you go to construction sites that construct a well-crafted building, they don't always look like the building that they're about to craft.
Correct. Okay, I understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
The building before the building.
Yeah. So sometimes the construction people that is building as capital G, capital O, capital D, they're on the hook to create God like master, right? Mm-hmm. But what they set up for themselves is only good, right? I was just on the site doing some work. You know, I'll throw the company name out there, Southwestern Communication, right? I still got the badge, plant engineer, right? So some contract and vendor work I was doing on the side, because we have to, you know, do these things in various capacities, right? Even though I got and I have invention money coming, right? But even though I have investor money, through investments, right? Via investors link to investments, right? Investment managers, right? We manage investments on behalf of investors, and then therefore we help them grow, and then we get our cut, right? So the point of what I'm saying is, if you understand what construction do, and you understand how investment portfolios happen, and if you understand how the investment manager, hedge fund manager, etc., we have to visit these sites and we have to talk with the people, right? Because the investment opportunities that we make for the general contractor, which first started for the general contractor because the relationship I have with him, right? Whether it's via masonry, via your group, your association, whatever it is, right? Networking, these groups that we're building, these nations, right?
Yes.
It started him, but then he wants to bring his people in, right? His nation and his company. And so then we're scaling out and we're do proper paperwork and etc., right? And we'll make sure, of course, we're good with the legislation. But the point of what I'm saying is, I'm not going to dox anything, but this is a piece of Wells Fargo mail, right? Sometimes you only get your checking account, but sometimes you get statements about your investments. What I'm saying, brother, is there's a difference between good and God, right?
Yeah.
Working and getting a paycheck that pays your bills, and it pays, you know, wherever you are, it pays your change of clothes. It pays the time that you have to do a filming 1 and then a filming 2, right? It pays the coordination, right? We had to take time.
You said that's good. That's good. That's not good.
Listen,
that's
listen.
not God. That's good. That's not God.
But this is what I'm saying. It's a theory we have called squishy
If,
languaging.
am I,
Whatever
am
it
I,
is.
am I understanding you correctly? Am I following you?
No, what I'm saying is they're
Okay.
facts. They're just facts.
Okay.
Right? Now, what I see you building and what I'm building, right? When we put those glasses on, we teach people and they understand that they have an opportunity, right? To
Yes.
use the facts of life
Yes.
in a manner which is good or God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, let's just replace good now. Now we can just get real, right? You already got the other clip for your people, right? If you play it all, that's cool. People understand what audiences and marketing, right? AI, you know, the point of what I'm saying is I could get real. Let's put good where nigga is.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tupac, Biggie, Smalls, they said niggas good. We got money. Right? You can clip it up, but when I give you everything, I always can replay it. You understand what I'm saying? Because me and you exist in diverse communities, so we know how to talk to everybody. We don't want nobody to get left out. So breaking down the difference between masonry, right? And I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers because I got to keep my military money coming in. And other organizations is one has blueprints that will build and produce gods. That's what you stumbled upon, right?
Yes, sir.
And the other will reproduce what is good or what is golden good, but even what golden good is not God, right? So the point of what I'm saying is when you look at the construction building, when you go inside of it, they have plans.
Yes.
In the hospital, in the construction building, they have blueprints. And they have blueprints and they're organized in certain categories. So it's important that you understand that as our nation built, when I talk to my son, I built for my family a vision that came out of the file cabinet that said gods.
Yes.
What comes in here and talking about investments and one thing in the category over here, if I would have built a vision that said good, we would only be talking about 9 to 5. We would be talking about low intelligence. We would talk about low self-efficacy. We would be talking about low self-confidence, right? Because you can have a lot of imperfection in you and still be good.
Yes.
But for you to be either falsely accused as being a god or properly denote the definition of God, you got to be close to perfect.
Yes.
It's a big difference.
You got to be striving for that.
It's a big difference.
Got to be that.
It's a big difference. So, brother, that's the long and short of it. But the masonry have really put me on to some of the things in which, you know, I attribute my success. That's why your book is so wonderful to me, right? I'm super busy. People have me, I'm supposed to be on, I'm supposed to be anonymously recording some things. I'm talking to people about new investment opportunities. I'm supposed to be monitoring charts, not just for me, but for the people I represent. Now, now if they see this, don't get mad. We're not losing nobody no money. I got everything. But the point of what I'm saying is when you start managing money for people, you're always under scrutiny.
Yes, sir.
So
that's my money.
So it's easy for me to say, no. You know how many people who I have known who think I changed up and think I cut them off, but they're not performing in the manner in which you're performing. So I can't put my name on the line because if I put my name on the line, my investors are on the line. And I don't eat out of good architecture. I don't have a 9 to 5. I own my time. I eat out of investments, which means I better have my public image together because people are only investing for their visions.
Yes.
For their visions.
Yes, sir.
From niggas to gods is your vision. I support. I invested in it just as I have already, and I'll invest more, and I'm investing more in it. Anybody who buy a book is an investor. Keep going.
I'm saying before we get out of here, I just want to ask you, what's your true thoughts of the book, man? How did I do? What's your thoughts of the book? And tell me what you're thinking, bro.
So we just got to be 100%. Remember, I just did the Audible, right? So this is what I tell my people: the mode in which you choose to communicate means everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Clip this up too. This is going to be good. All right. So this is what we got. So we've been, me and you, brother, like we've been, I'm going to get to your question, but for
Yes,
you
sir.
and your people, right? Because you're a big brother. I understand what you're doing, big brother. So for the things that you're doing for everybody who's going to have the opportunity to hear this, is very important for them to really understand who you are. You
Yes,
understand?
sir.
So, and the people who you have always curried good favor with. Always.
Yes, sir.
Right? Always. We don't have to go into detail, but I can come in, you can tell me who your audience is, and I'll give them the appropriate classification story that they are able to access. Because
Yes, sir.
everybody can't access certain things due to national security stuff, right? So this is a standout brother. I meet him first and foremost. This is a fact. Whether you put it into a trajectory that's going to help you become a god, or you just do good, or stay as a nigga, that's on you. But I met him on a military base. I don't even have to tell you what we was doing. You just have to know he had to have a certain credentials and a certain matter of prestige to either pass the background check or even to know somebody who get him in here and look past the nigga on his background.
Right. Dig that.
You get what I'm saying? You
Yes,
might
sir.
got a bad background, but if you know the right people, they might
Right.
look past your nigga and put a little good on there. That still don't mean you of God. You ain't doing
Right.
your God project. You just moved from nigga to good and you didn't even earn it. You curry favor somebody. Don't ever forget that from the hard work that my brother is saying you got to do. So at the end of the day, the book was the word. You showed them the imagination, right? Do not smoke. Write down 500 times, right? I don't know if you said 500. Write down 500 times. Put it up. Put the vision. Say it. You gave them the game. You told them all the work. They should be able to close their eyes, imagine it, visualize it, and then do the work. You told them the voice is going to come here. Then it's going to come here. Do it fast. That's you. You gave them, bro. The only way you can give them the game is if you earned the game.
Now.
So at the end of the day, certified, baby. You feel me? Ain't no maybe not on this one. This certified God making material. I call it God chat, baby. You know who it is, Daniel.
This is to let you know the elevation doesn't come from waiting to the world to change. It comes from rebuilding yourself brick by brick. That's what chapter 1 is all about. The construction of self just isn't the start of the book. It's the start of everything. So I want to say, give a big shout out to Daniel for coming on the show and becoming something new that requires questioning of everything old. So if you're feeling this conversation, man, please get the collector's edition of 200 Years from Niggas to Gods, a guide to becoming a mature nation. When you get that collector's edition, you get the full ebook, the audio book, exclusive artwork, and my soundtrack, all crafted to help you break the mold and build something bigger and better. So peace, Black people. We are important. We are worth supporting. These are the elevation sessions. Peace. Right on. Thank you, Daniel, for coming on out, man. One love. Peace.